Santa Fight Club and Other Christmas Stories, version 1.0.1. Written by George Saoulidis. Narrated by Steve White. Santa Fight Club. "That can't possibly be a thing," I said to my friend. "It is," Darren said, punching his palm with his other fist. He was an angry gay man. He had beaten down plenty of assholes who had made fun of him when he was out with his boyfriend. Fit, with rippling muscles, hitting the gym almost every day. I was sure he was messing with me. It wouldn't be the first time. "And it's tonight during the holidays." I made sure to use that word simply because it annoyed him. "During Christmas, yeah." He waved to me to come outside of the grocery store. "Come on." I was holding my grocery bags, reusable bags only because I wanted to save the environment, but was only willing to do the bare minimum. "But I haven't paid for these." I hushed at him. He shrugged. "So, live a little." I took one step to leave. I turned around, feeling caught. But no. The grocery store's clerk was helping out an old lady. He wasn't paying attention to me. I took another step and felt horrible. Darren just glared at me, car keys in his hands. "I haven't stolen a thing in my life," I whispered, hugging my groceries. Darren snorted and got into the car. I looked back, biting my lips. Then I took out €20 from my wallet, juggling the groceries in my hands, and then left them on the counter. The clerk was still dealing with the old lady. She couldn't locate something, but didn't remember what it was. I got inside the car and threw my groceries in the back seat. "You're such a wimp," Darren said and took off. "No, I'm not." I squealed exactly like one. "How are you ever going to get a girlfriend if you're such a pussy yourself?" Darren asked, driving like a madman. I opened my mouth to complain, but he had a point. No, not about stealing. I wouldn't do that. But I was always second-guessing myself, never taking the plunge. "Check out the bags in the back." I reached out behind his seat and grabbed a duffel bag full of something soft. I opened the bag's zipper on my lap, held the red fabric high, and then turned to Darren. "You gotta be shitting me." "The first rule of Santa Fight Club is," the Santa in the middle of the ring said, "You do not talk about Santa Fight Club." Everyone shouted in unison. "No one's gonna believe you anyways," the Santa chuckled. He punched the air, rubbed his fake beard. "Now, if you're here for the first time, you've got to get in the ring. No exceptions." I didn't take the step, of course. Timid, remember. My fake beard itched a lot and I scratched my chin, reaching around it. The Santa suit was also some cheap fabric that would definitely irritate my skin. As Santa stepped inside the ring, he was shorter than me, but had a fat suit underneath with a big belly. "What's the padding about?" I asked Darren. "You said it, extra padding for taking the punches. I guess it helps." He shrugged. "Then why didn't he give me any?" I squealed like a wimp. "Suck it up, Bob." "We got the first fighter all right," the Santa organizer said, and the crowd cheered. I looked around the dank basement as we gathered in. It was a bad part of town. Police response if anything should happen would definitely be over 15 minutes. The place was a dirty open space, now crowded with 50 or so Santas in all shapes and sizes. Nobody was out of uniform, and they were holding small wrapped presents. The only lights coming in were from a streetlight next to a high-up window from the, I shit you not, Christmas lights twinkling all around the ring, forming a circle. On the other hand, I hated Darren for dragging me into this sleazy deal. On the other, my blood was pumping and I was anxious to see some fighting. So was everyone in there. Eyes darted around from everyone to everyone else to see who would take up the challenge. And then Darren shoved me into the middle of the ring. I lost my footing and tripped. The Santa pants were a cheap layer over my own jeans. I wasn't going to let that itchy fabric directly on my skin. I fell beard first in front of the organizer Santa. He laughed. "Ho, ho, ho." The crowd laughed all the same. Bunch of assholes. I pushed myself up. The floor was filthy, thankfully not sticky, and it had dubious stains. I looked at my enemy Santa. He was... I had no idea what he was. Short, padded all over, big bushy beard. I couldn't make out anything. All I could tell was that he was eyeing me like a Santa eyed his milk and cookies. The Christmas lights twinkled in his eyes, making them multicoloured. The whole experience was so surreal. I looked back at Darren. He nodded at me. "Okay, so he thought I got this." What the heck? Why not? "Place your bets, please," the organizer Santa said, and someone gave him a red sack. He went around the ring of Christmas lights holding it open, and the Santas dropped their wrapped gifts inside it. Once he was done, he held the sack high. "The loot, Santas. Whoever wins gets..."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?